do an undermount stainless steel sink, the first thing I like to do is make sure the countertop is completely done. Sanded, finished, nothing left to do but mount the sink. I have templates pre-made for most of the standard sinks that I do. So when I get a sink, I go find a template and make sure I have the right one. When I make my templates, I leave a 1/4 inch reveal all the way around. Mostly because most of the sinks we do here have a 1/4 inch reveal, but also because I can add a collar on to make it a flush mount or an overhang mount instead of trying to work that afterward. So I have a few different options with the template. When I cut it, I don't like to cut the full amount with a flush bit in case I dip it or chips or anything happens. So I'm going to use a collar bit, straight bit, to leave a 1/4 inch all the way around, cut it out first, and then come back and clean it up with the flush bit. It's always a good idea to have your center lines marked on your template for a quick and easy setup. If you're making a template, it's a good idea to leave a good amount around the edges so that you have room to clamp. Whenever you're running a router, you always want to make sure you use safety equipment. Glasses, hearing protection, and a respirator. When I start my cut, I always start it in, away from my template, and then come in and around. This way when I finish my cut, its weak point is away from your edge, so you're less likely to get a chip or a crack in it. I don't like to make my sinks flush with the edge because of the large roundover that some sinks have at the top. If you make it flush, you'll see a little gap there and it just doesn't look that good. I like to try and make my countertop come right to the top of this roundover, all the way around. I'm going to check the sink again. I want to make sure I don't like to move the template until I'm sure I have the cutout the way I want it. At this point I can still unclamp and slide a little bit each way if I need to adjust it, but once you take the template off, trying to get it lined up perfect is a little bit difficult. Okay, I'm going to remove my template and clean up my edge a little. I like to sand it smooth before putting an 1/8 inch roundover on the top edge. To mount the sinks, I use these clip sink kits. Comes with a threaded clip that gets glued to the bottom of the countertop when I do my edging. It also comes with a washer, a clip, and a wing nut. So that'll get put onto the post and tightened to hold the sink up to the countertop. To seal it, we use 100% silicone. In this case I'll use white. But before we can do that, we want to clean the sink rim and the countertop with denatured alcohol to get it all dust free and ready for the silicone. I like to put my clips up on my posts before I get started. You get 10 clips in each of these kits, which is more than enough for any sink. Typically I'll do 3 on each side, doing the corners in the middle, and 1 to 2 in the back. For the front, since I can't get any clips there, I like to take a scrap piece of the countertop material, and after the sink's up, I will glue this to the front edge and clamp it up to dry, and it'll hold the sink there. When I silicone, I like to put a nice bead around the outside of the sink, mount it up to the bottom of the countertop, and hold it while I tighten all them clips. Now because my clips are already started, I can hold it with one hand while I tighten up a few of the clips to hold it, and then I can go back through and tighten up all the rest. Now that that's all snugged up, I can take a look and slide it around where I need it. It's not looking too bad. And once you have it where you want it, you just tighten up the clips the rest of the way. If there's any spots that do not have squeeze out, you can come back with your silicone gun and just add a little bit more silicone in those spots. But before I do that, I want to glue on my front piece. I'm just using a 2-part epoxy, the same glue I used to glue up the edge, which doesn't hold very well to metal. So what I want to do is get this attached to the front edge, not so much the sink. And that's what's going to hold it. As you can see, we have a little bit of glue squeezed out all the way around. To clean up your glue squeeze out without making a mess, you're going to want to spray some soapy water on there. Windex works good, a little bit of dish soap and water works good. I'm using Simple Green. You can use your finger to wipe it up, a shim, a piece of laminate, whatever you'd like to wipe all that off. Sometimes it works better to use a piece of laminate or shim to get the majority of the big stuff off, and then come back with your finger and clean up the rest. Go ahead and wipe it down a few times. There's pressure on it from the clips and the clamp, so it's going to continuously keep oozing out a little by little. So you want to clean up as much as you can now, so that there's very little squeeze out when you come back later. And you're going to want to give this about 24 hours to fully dry. The 2-part epoxy will be dry in about 10 to 15 minutes, so I can unclamp that. and the silicone will start to firm up in just a few hours. But you really want to give it at least a day before you install the countertop and start using the sink. And that's how I mount a stainless steel sink. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe if you like this video. If you want to learn more techniques on making countertops, if you have any questions or want to learn anything specific, leave a comment below and let me know.